There it is, one of me! Cheers, Leaf Nation! To the butts! Go! Please, go!
He received what wasn't a threat letter. I think the Leafs were a little strategic that way, not putting anything in writing, but they phoned him and said, you either take down those postings with a beer that is not part of the Molson Coors stable, or we're going to sue you.
Yeah, that's fine. So obviously I'm a representative for Molson Coors.
Okay.
I understand.
I think we've met each other before. I recognize your lovely accent.
This is private property.
Right.
Okay,
yes.
so I'm going to ask you to get in your vehicle and leave private property now.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in downtown Toronto. And folks, I've dropped by Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. This is an incredible story I'm going to bring you. It has been getting some other coverage. You know, at Rebel News, we do all kinds of stories about government overreach. I think this story falls into the bailiwick of corporate overreach, which is to say there is a fan in small town Alberta. His name is Curtis Stevenson. He is a Toronto Maple Leafs superfan. He has a man cave that must be decked out in thousands and thousands of dollars of Maple Leaf swag. He lives and dies by his beloved Maple Leafs. Well, apparently, either the Toronto Maple Leafs organization or Molson Coors, the official beer sponsor for the Leafs, they have a problem because, you see, when Curtis is doing his rants, he's always got a beverage in his hand, which is not a beer made by Molson Coors. And allegedly, he received what wasn't a threat letter. I think the Leafs were a little strategic that way, not putting anything in writing, but they phoned him and said, you either take down those postings with a beer that is not part of the Molson Coors stable, or we're going to sue you. I mean, this is unbelievable. This is a guy who is a Maple Leaf superfan, and a multi-billion-dollar organization such as Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment has a problem with that. A multi-billion-dollar international brewer such as Molson Coors has a problem with that. It is crazy. Now, I reached out to Maple Leaf spokesman Dave Haggith. I wanted to know, what is the point of contention? What is the crux of the matter? What were you threatening to sue Curtis for? Are there other fans that Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment is going through social media looking for, well, I don't know what you call it, unauthorized sponsorship? Have you threatened them too? And Mr. Haggith gave me cryptic comments that as of Curtis's social media postings last night, it's no longer a story. In terms of trademark law, and I'm not a lawyer in that discipline, does someone run afoul of a trademark situation if they're professing the love for an organization and they're holding a product, in Curtis's case, a can of beer that is not brewed by the official partner of that organization? That seems a little rich to me. So anyways, we're going to go in to MLSE and see if Mr. Haggith can explain the matter. Do you know if he's in the building today?
That's what I just asked, and they said he's not. So.
Oh, he's not in the building. No. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, thank you for preventing us from waiting all this time.
Yeah.
So I'll try him again.
Try him again, and hopefully he responds to you.
Well, there you have it, folks. We tried to get Mr. Haggith to come on camera. Evidently, he's not in the building, and neither is Emily Hillstrom. She might be the most infamous employee at Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. She is the former mistress, maybe current mistress, who knows, of ex-mayor John Tory. Yeah, you know, well, the city was going to hell the last several years. Maybe if Mayor Tory spent more time taking care of Toronto as opposed to chasing Emily Hillstrom around the cottage, maybe things would be better in Hogtown. Anyway, I guess what's left for Lincoln J and I is to go to West End Toronto. That's the headquarters of Molson Coors. You know, folks, I'm not hopeful there. I did send them an email for comment. They've ignored it. But then again, I'm waiting now 2 years for the Molson Coors public relations team to weigh in on that atrocity they did 2 years ago, taking the enormous flag of Canada down for the entire month of June and putting up that terrible Pride Progress flag in its place. Unbelievable, especially for a brewer whose number one brand, I believe, is named for the country, Molson Canadian. So tomorrow we'll head out to Molson Coors. We're just trying to get their side of the story, and I believe there is an update that is very positive for Mr. Stevenson, the superfan. Stay tuned for more. Well, folks, as promised, here we are at the Toronto-based Canadian headquarters of Molson Coors. We're going to pay a house call just to see if anyone here can weigh in. It's been several days since I sent out my media inquiry request. I've heard nothing from their media relations team, which sadly and inexplicably is par for the course. So let's go visit Molson Coors and find out if someone can make sense of this crazy story regarding superfan Curtis Stevenson. Hi there. I'm David Menzies with Rebel News, ma'am, and we're just here.
You can film me. Sorry.
Pardon me?
Yeah, because of your last incident, I was in trouble. So I
Oh,
don't want you to.
what
film
was
me.
the last incident? What was the last incident? Okay. The last incident? Did I do something? Oh, hey, how you doing there? I'm David Menzies with Rebel News, and I'm just hoping to speak to somebody about the Canadian flag being flown instead of the Pride flag.
So we don't have anybody here.
Oh.
It's work from home day.
Work from home day.
Yes, please.
In this whole office? Nobody at all? Or? Oh, okay.
If you didn't film me, if that was okay, we'll just have a quick conversation.
It's just that we'd like to make a record that we
Okay.
reached out.
Yeah, that's fine. So obviously I'm a representative from Molson Coors. I understand.
I think we've met each other before. I recognize your lovely accent.
This is private property.
Right.
Okay,
yes.
so I'm going to ask you to get in your vehicle and leave private property now, please.
Oh, okay. We were told to leave here in case
Okay,
we
so
could.
it's private property from the edge of the boundary line.
Okay, I respect that. As we're leaving, there is no one that wants to give Molson Coors side of the story about
So have you got the press at molsoncoors.com?
I sure do.
Perfect. Have you? Yep.
And that's
drop them in
from
your inquiry.
November 8th. Today is November 12th. So it's been almost 5 days. So
Yeah, over the weekend, and you can appreciate that working hours are usually Monday to Friday. But if you contact press at molsoncoors.com, they'll respond to you in due course. And as I've alluded
Sir,
to, if you could imagine...
no, we will. But I just want to tell you, I've reached out to them going back 2 years for other issues like the flag.
I'm not, unfortunately.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to give you a hard time, sir. But if that is their job to relate with the media, hence media relations, why do these people have a job? They don't even answer questions.
I'm not going to comment on that. As I've alluded to, you've got a copy of our email address. If you want to wait for a response, they'll let you back in due course. But unfortunately, this is private property now.
Okay, then.
So I'm going to ask you to leave.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Can I film my clothes here, or do you want to?
Private property again. If you want to film at the end of the driveway on public property,
Okay. All right then.
Thanks.
At the end of the driveway?
that is public property.
That is. Okay. Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Wow. We've met that fellow before. I have no idea what his role is other than telling Lincoln J and I to leave the property. But we will respect his wishes. We'll go to the end of the driveway, I think he said, is okay. And, geez, at least we're not going to be standing on a busy street doing our journalism. Now, folks, I can tell you, we did reach out to Curtis Stevenson. I had a phone conversation with him. He's declined to come on camera. In fact, he's declining most or even all media interviews. And the reason is, in his words, is he just wants to go back watching hockey and drinking beer. Curtis is the proverbial nice guy. He doesn't have a nasty word to say about anyone, including those coming up with threats from the Maple Leafs organization and Molson Coors that he must drink a Molson Coors beer if he is wearing Leafs swag. Unbelievable. In my book, Curtis Stevenson, if I was running MLSE, I would want him as a brand ambassador. Just an all-around genuine nice guy that loves the Leafs and just enjoys watching them as he drinks the beer of his choice. Now, speaking of beer, get a load of this. Last week, Budweiser posted to Instagram a simple video with the words, "Can't drink that beer," before a thick line crosses out the word "can't," followed by smaller text that reads, "Make time for hockey, not red tape," and a caption tagging Curtis's Instagram account. Budweiser, of course, is a direct competitor to Molson Coors, and I think that is a PR coup for Budweiser. Imagine that in 2 years, they probably went from the biggest PR beer disaster of all time, namely hiring transvestite Dylan Mulvaney to be the spokesman, spokeswoman, spokesthingy for Bud Light and almost obliterating that brand overnight. And now clearly they've given their head a shake and they realize that a guy like Curtis Stevenson, that's who they'd want in their stable. When I last talked to Curtis Stevenson, he's not affiliated with Budweiser. He appreciates them reaching out. He just loves the beer that he currently drinks. It's from a little cottage brewer. And I want to make one last point. Folks, do you know what one of the hottest selling pieces of swag regarding the Toronto Maple Leafs is this year? Check this out. It is a modified Maple Leafs logo, and it says, "Just once before I die." And what that is in reference to, folks, the Leafs have not won a Stanley Cup since 1967, the nation's centennial, when Lester B. Pearson was our prime minister. That's appalling. It is a shirt that generates some chuckles, but by the same token, isn't this a scathing indictment of the incompetence of Maple Leaf sports and entertainment? Oh yeah, they've got lots of time to bully a superfan, but they don't seem to have the right ingredients ever to put a winning team on the ice. And by winning, I don't mean winning a playoff round. I mean actually getting the silverware. So you see people all around town wearing this now. Like I said, what a badge of failure for MLSE. Maybe spend more time putting a Stanley Cup contender together and less time going after their loyal fan base. Absolutely despicable. Folks, I know you love it when Rebel News brings you the other side of the story, but we need your help. Unlike the mainstream media, we're not on Justin Trudeau's payroll. We don't accept a nickel of media taxpayer-funded welfare from the Trudeau Liberals. So please, if you can, go to rebelfieldreports.com. That's rebelfieldreports.com. And if you're able to, kindly make a donation so we can continue to bring you the other side of the story.